Welcome, everybody. Welcome to BeoTalk number 322. Holy Jesus.
It's been a while. Yeah.
Hope everybody's doing all right. Hope everybody had a good week. Like and subscribe if you haven't done already. Also, go to Skinny Play if you want to buy a cover for your A9 or something like that. They have a bunch of stuff. Use the discount code for 10% off. Come join the Discord if you haven't done that already. Where,
Lots to learn there.
yeah, apparently, if you have intricate questions about an NLML converter and how to tie that in with Mozart, Christian can help you. Holy
Yeah,
crap.
there's been a lot of chatter in that. I was watching, reading. Pretty cool. To the point where I had pulled my NLML converter. And I'll see if I'm gonna dabble with that or sometime this week if I have time. I still need to plug in the 9000. I just haven't gotten a chance to get a long enough cable for it to run it into the master 90 or primary, I guess would be the politically correct term.
Uh, yeah, the stickers are still older than our speakers.
Yeah, mine are old. White master and white slave, bro.
God, a lot has changed in, what, 9 years?
Yeah, it has.
Ages.
It has. Well, that primary secondary started pretty quick because I did bring it up on the podcast a while back, and they
Yeah.
did realize that this is little not too PC, I guess.
I mean, it
Uh,
literally comes from PC hard drives, right?
well, that and it also comes with the terminology of masterlink, right? Because you
Yeah.
always had a master and a slave. Everything else was a slave in the masterlink terms back in the good old 80s when, you know, times when you can smoke in a plane, for God's sakes.
I mean, I'm already old enough to remember where if you added a hard drive, you had to like take a plug out and put it in a different pin socket on the back. Because
To make
otherwise the
it a
computer
master or a
didn't know what to
slave,
do
yeah.
with it.
Yeah, good old days.
uh,
Remember when it was pioneering idea to be able to boot up your Windows off of a USB stick? That was a groundbreaker back in the day too.
yeah. Uh, yeah, come join Discord, leave a like and subscribe and that sort of stuff. How's your week been?
Not bad. Just slid kind of right off the calendar, more or less. Not much interesting, I don't think, really happened. The only thing that's it's really sad, more or less, than interesting is the fact that B&O is unable to ship us a Harmony that doesn't come in a lot more than one pieces. The last
Uh,
one we had a forklift go through the box. I don't know where does it fall apart in the shipping. Obviously, it comes from Denmark proper or Czech Republic rather, but somewhere along the line, I guess on Canadian side or I don't know where, man. But they just get fucked up, fucked up. Even the empty boxes came in all messed up like that. So I don't know what's going on or where is that particular shipping channel because this is to me a very much a deja vu back to 2017, 16 when they changed the shipping company from Hellman to Kuhn and Nagel. I think it was. It still is. But then when they came to the Toronto, I guess, or wherever the port of entry was for all the stuff that flew in, then whoever had a fucking pickup truck or a bed and a couple of straps can pick up B&O and deliver it to wherever in Canada. And then, yeah, it just came in absolute pieces, absolute pieces,
this makes
four
me
times.
extremely happy that I chose to switch over to
Yeah.
theater.
So,
Because we're
yeah,
talking
Harmony
to
is a very delicate a piece of equipment to ship. Very, very delicate.
yeah, because I was talking to the missus about it yesterday, and she's like, I still prefer the Harmony, and I sort of agree, other than the sound, right? But in terms of
Sound
like,
and
there's
also
no issues
the
with it.
the
It's stable, and
the transport liability is immense with the Harmony. I think it's even more than with the 90s because 90s are just heavy as fuck. Like you can't really tip those over. And I think personally that Harmony should have a revised packaging to put it in the same Nefat crates like the 90s come, like the BeoVision 9 used to come, like the BeoVision 4s used to come, the big ones. I think they should have the Nefat box made for at least the PV Harmonies.
Wait, yours
because
didn't.
it's
The ones you get don't come on a little pallet?
yeah, but there's no savior, dude. The last one came sideways without the pallet,
Huh.
wrapped in saran wrap with two poke holes from the forklift into it, man. Like
Huh.
rejected shipment. Yeah. It's not fun. Like that should be in a big, like in my opinion, it should be for the cost that this thing costs, and in my opinion, for your guys' cost to how much it costs you to replace these things, right? Because another thing is that
Yeah.
we have two like that, two incidents, and we are now going to be credited that money from a B&O, right, as a store. So now we're out fucking whatever the cost of two harmonies is for no reason and
Yeah.
not be able to sell them, right? So, and you order another one, it just comes mangled again. So I like at some point the insanity needs to somehow stop. And I think that for North American market, or if it's not within the European Union, uh, you know, coherently, if it doesn't have to really jump ship and plane,
Yeah.
it can survive in a cardboard box. But when it comes to here, I don't know if it's just the negligence or pure negligence with the shipping, but it is an absolute disaster right now when it comes to everything else. Usually comes fine. We've had a couple like really hate messed up Beolab 9 or sorry Beolab 8 floor stands,
Mm-hmm.
but it's very unusual, man. One thing that usually comes fucked up is the feet for the 18s, obviously,
The
because then
hard feet, you
pops.
mean?
Yeah, the floor stands
Yeah.
for the 18s. That they always come like the
They're way
box
too
barely
heavy
made it.
and
They're way too heavy. Like it doesn't matter. Like yeah, they are tough pack, man, but that's not tough enough to like be moving across the pond in essentially.
no,
So
as soon as you start to have like a half an inch, a centimeter or two of movement, it's just going to go straight through the packaging because it's just too
oh yeah, no,
heavy.
that's same with the but the wood on the 18s is good if they're shipped like they're supposed to be shipped. And luckily when like we make an order, it's not just one box, right? Because sometimes you have them standing and then the stilettos just push right through that little piece of plywood that is in there to stop it from happening, and now you get fucked up cones. But when we order like 10 pairs, so they all come in one pallet, just poof, right? And that's it.
Yeah,
But
for the
yeah,
18 floor
this
stands, you almost should have like like a piece of wood that's the same size with a bolt through both of them to keep them
yeah, to
together,
keep
and
them.
then
That's
the
right.
wood is the same width as the internal dimensions of the cardboard.
Yeah, that would help a lot. But yeah, that's when it comes to, I don't know why we started off on shipping, but that's what I guess this is the week, right? That stuff came in all messed up a little bit. The rest shows up normally, but yeah, for some reason the good old Harmony just cannot make it across the pond in any shape or form. So I don't know if it's the same for the American side of the border, or it's just we in Canada have that issue. So I don't know,
Well, I mean, my
but
was it Master 50 got mangled by customs.
mhm.
I mean, fortunately, it's insured and all that sort of thing, right? But at
Yeah,
some
yeah,
point, you
yeah.
gotta have to ask, like, this is just going to be man hours of insurance nonsense.
Oh, it's a constant peeing against the wind, right? Till you get it sorted, and then you get it sorted. Now it's the stress of taking your speaker top apart, whatever, right? It's not honestly, it's not a big deal. Like the way the stuff is made now is very modular, very fixable, very workable on. You know, besides like some intricate nonsense with the Beolab 28, how the cables are ran if you need to dismantle it and take some stuff out. Like some modules are a little bit of a pain in the ass. I found the shape. I mean, the stage was a pain in the ass first time I done it, but then the second time you just know exactly which way to open it, how to open it, how far you can open it before you start fucking cables up, and just think, and that's it. But yeah, this is sad news really for us that now we're sitting on two brand new. But I'll see tomorrow. Actually, I'm booked to go to warehouse in the morning and take them both out of the de-styrofoam bubble them basically. So I'm gonna bring a blower because they're just cooked, right, with that styrofoam nonsense.
Yeah.
And we'll see if the mechanism is not bent, because the one that took the forks is literally right where the speakers are, but not into the drivers. But there is no physical damage into it, so I think he stopped just in time. But it tipped over maybe because the sensor ball is gone, right? Like the tilt sensor is triggered. So yeah, we'll see if they're fixable. Obviously, like I'd rather have them fixed than because then it's also like what sucks that it costs P&O to ship them back to themselves, right? And whatever shape they fucking come in, like it's not even like, are they just garbage then or what? So
They're
it's
probably repairable.
my guess is they would be repairable. Like I don't see why not, unless something is cracked mechanically inside or the welds cracked where the speakers are frames are attached. Then yeah, that's not too bad. But other than that, I think they're gonna be revivable for sure. We'll see. And yeah, so that's about it. Couple of software updates that came throughout on the beta side of things, but very positive. I'm very positive towards it. So that's all I'm gonna say about that. I don't know
Okay.
how far
21
they've
grand here
gotten with
for
the
a
mix.
65-inch
Hmm.
Harmony with cloth.
Yeah, that's not a cheap TV, man. Well, at the end of the day, like the most expensive part on this thing is the mechanism, right? And then the wings, because the rest is the panel is a panel. Like you can go with the G4 or C4, or just I would wait for the G5 at this point.
I mean, or you can spend 57, 58 grand ex sales tax for a 97-inch version.
Fudge for a 97-inch. I don't know about that. Like that's too much of wings. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
It's
83,
too. It's
77 is the golden ratio for the
seven.
Harmony.
I think 77 exactly is the golden ratio for the Harmony. 83 is pushing it, and 97 is ridiculous. The wings become too thin, in my opinion, compared
Yeah.
to the panel size. So
Though I don't think this picture is an accurate representation. It in real life it's a bit more stretched even. Also, like this TV is like from left to right is almost 2 meters. It's 1 meter 97, I think.
that's a lot of panel. That would still fit, but I have an
Barely.
issue with like, well, yeah, because the fucker opens, right? So I would have to have it either turn the stand before it opens, so it misses the 90s. But there's no way I'm going back at all.
No,
At all.
but it's
Yesterday I did some listening with the 90s. It's a different sounding speaker compared to like what the sound was coming out of the old ASC platforms like the Avant when I had it running on the Avant. It's much more dynamically ranged
yeah,
sound coming out of it, and there's a
absolutely.
lot more bass, bro. A lot more bass than it used to be. And I'm also happy with the fact that the theater really nicely keeps up the pace as a center channel.
Do you have
And yeah,
just the center standard playing, or do you have the left and right in the front as center as well?
I left it all as the default mix, and the default mix actually does include the entire speaker system inside. It is playing the front, but it also plays the sides and the tops
Well, the
by
tops, yeah,
default.
but the sides? Huh.
Yeah, man, I can hear them play, and the left and right obviously are into the mix. With I like I said, I didn't piss about with any uh redirection levels yet. I didn't piss about with absolutely anything. I just left them as they are and see how they sound. And with or without the room comp, if I run them without the room comp like it suggested, it's just way too much bass.
Yeah.
Way too much bass for me. Like,
Yeah.
not I don't know if I've grown out of it or I'm just too sensitive to it, but for and especially like if you have like YouTube or whatever, like I said, the spoken word to PP and BB and stuff, right? That comes through. That really fucking just throws this bass wave around the house every time somebody talks. And yeah, so that's it.
Did you factory reset your TV?
No.
Because, like Sandeep said, unless software changed it, that is not the default at first setup when you attach speakers. Like, the up firing will go, the wide firing won't do anything, and the left and right also are off.
Not in my scenario. I factory reset the theater. I didn't factory reset the panel. There was no need for that, really. But the theater was factory reset. The 90s was factory reset, of course, because I had tuning filters from the what's it called? Tuning filters from my old apartment in it still. However, I don't know if that's the because I'm on beta, right? So I think I'm two I think two software versions ahead of what the name major new releases because I just got updated on Friday, and they were tuned under beta software, new beta software. So I don't know if that has something to do with the mix, but I had no fucking issues, bro. Like when I was tuning them, like when I had that problem with the 50s at the client's house where I had to go individually into each tuning filter and remove the latency to put it to auto. Otherwise, the secondary speaker wouldn't whoop.
Yeah.
I never had these problems with the 90s when they were reset. It just everything just worked. And then for just the shits and giggles, I put my ear to it because I preset the speakers to kitchen preset, right? Which I'm using the side wall of the I guess left front 90 and the front firing of the right 90, and then the TV turns full 35 degrees, and then it uses the center channel, which becomes essentially it's the entire speaker playing. 18s are out of the mix.
Interesting. Maybe it's a 90s specific thing. I don't know. It's weird because with 50s anyway, it doesn't do that. And you have to. It's personal preference, but I think most people with 50s that have quite a bit of stereo separation would prefer the theater to have the left and right playing as center as well.
I like it plays as center because it gives it definitely. Hold on a second here. Let me just share the screen. I'll share the settings just to see if we can screen share the shite. And are you gonna turn on for me or what? Start now. There you go. Let's see. Share screen. Oh, it's here. Start sharing. Poof.
S'il vous plaît.
Okay, let's go to the. Param param param. Okay, I'm ready to rock and roll, yo.
Let's go.
Let's rock. So, in kitchen, can I actually get in there? Yeah, edit. The one thing that sucks that it pulls them up is black, which, but is what it is, right? I guess.
Yeah.
Maybe if I move my picture to this side, then you can put that in the center, and it's not on your face.
I don't care if it's on my face or not.
So,
like, this is more important to see than my face.
Same here. Put that back. So here's the 90s, and then I have center front firing is set. It's at 0, but it is on. This is the kitchen preset. Left front firing and right front firing has no role, yet they are still playing. And then these automatically set themselves because I'm not including the 18s as the surrounds, right? And up firing by default, they come in as up firing by, so what they are. And 18s, they have no role because I just didn't include them in that tuning.
So are they just doing bass left front and right front or something?
What, the left and right front?
Yeah.
The vocals, basically, it comes out almost like in an acoustic lens bubble effect.
Huh.
That they are a little bit quieter, but it's a full range of the center channel that is coming out.
It is
It's
kind
really
of weird that
interesting.
left. Wait, is it side firing? That's
And
on.
then this is the speaker preset for the 90s, which is the 4, which is the kitchen.
I think
So
that
if I
might be
go,
a. You might have stumbled on a beta issue.
it could be, but I really like it. I don't mind it at all. I actually do not mind it at all. So in here, can I actually? No, I cannot. I have to go inside the menu. I wonder if that'll let me. Settings, configure. Yeah. Will it open? Yeah, it still opens within the app. So yeah, in the kitchen, I have the beam control. So the right and the left is see the side firing wall.
Yeah.
It doesn't show it right now. I use the same distances basically that were in the theater measurement for the mic, and then I combine two filters, the wide and narrow, which wide is basically the center of the living room, and then far left and far right. And then in the advanced, latency mode has got to be set to automatic when you have it with the theater, because you're not gonna have a good time with the secondary speaker at all. And parametric equalizer, I left everything flat for now. I might actually shave a little bit of bass off of it here, just to So that's the speaker preset for the kitchen per se. When it comes to the 90s. When you go to stereo, I actually made. I think this should be in direct. Well, it's not, but it switches to direct when I listen to music. I put them in the sources. So the direct mode is direct mode. It's 90s only in narrow.
Mm-hmm.
Sounds great. Absolutely insane. And then surround is, of course, surround where we have all the speakers employed. Oh, no, I don't want to do that. Let's go back and do this instead. So they're all set. And then the roles are, see, I actually do like the fact that now
The side
center channel.
firing is off by default as soon as you have the left and right front, normally. So that's the one where I'm really thinking, like, what the hell's going on?
Yeah, but here they're off.
Interesting.
The side firing. Even though they produce sound, you can still hear the sound coming out of them. And I did not change anything. I just say I like the fact that they're properly starting the center from the 0 dBs. I think the left up and right up firing speakers are way out to lunch as far as the dBs. If you actually do run the decibel meter on them,
yeah,
they're way too quiet. They're almost insignificant. These, even though they don't have any. See, like when there's no roll, they make sound, but there is no speaker level or redirection level assigned to them.
Yeah, because I think they use those to triangulate where the microphone is.
They always do that. The first two whoops are from the theater itself, left, right, and then because it knows where, and then it whoops the rest of them.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's interesting that like the left front is
what's the redirection level on that one?
The 90s, I actually have a +1 dB
oh wow!
Insanely. What the fuck, eh? Both.
No wonder you have a lot of bass. Holy shit! Last time I whooped my 50s, I think they went down to -3 and -5 or something.
I did not touch this yet. This is what the microphone that I had been provided with B&O Theater did, according to like what the software version that I'm in right now, as far as the beta and how this swoops. I fucking like it, dude. It sounds absolutely bananas. Yes, and I didn't honestly. This is the first time I'm looking at the redirection levels because I haven't even looked. I just set them up and I left it because I just wanted to have that blind test for a week just to see what is what and where it's at. And the only thing that I ever did with this is I went to the room compensation and I temporarily disabled it for a while.
Mm-hmm.
That's all I did, and I never looked at any of this shit
What's the
in
redirection on
detail.
the 18s like?
Minus 19. That's default. I've seen that in all the tunings that I had done so far. Minus 19 is what normally I see with the 18s as far as the redirection level. Regardless if it's 50s or as soon as there's a lab 19 introduced for some reason, it goes to minus 19.
I think my 17s went to minus 14 or something like that. It was also quite a lot. And I
See, in the center has minus 13 dBs redirection.
Yeah, I just I took like 8 out of everything that was redirected and put the 50s to absolutely no redirection. Like just 0, like not +1 or something. Like you don't need more, but just make them sing.
Let's see what this is done. Like, oh fuck, and even more.
Yeah, that's quite normal. For some reason, when you do it in a stereo setup, it goes to +2, +3, something like that.
+2, +2.
Yeah.
That's why this thing's just balls to the wall, man.
Yeah, maybe you should set that to 0 then.
Yeah, let's do that. Let's do a week with that.
Because +2 on the 90 is quite a bit more than +2 on the
50. Yeah, it's quite a bit than any other speaker. That's for damn sure. Okay, let's go back down over. Let's bring this down. Let's bring the bollocks down. And yeah, then I have it set to direct mode, which is I have what now? Everything is in the Centaur. And then I have everything set to flat. This doesn't matter anyways because those are disconnected or those don't have no effect once you are in the direct mode.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, so this sounds like a Beo Connect core with room compensation enabled because I haven't deleted the room compensation filters on anything yet. So, and I'm still gonna have to retune it because I'm gonna get the carpet soon, and I just don't know if I'm gonna get like the hairy shaggy one or I'm gonna get the same flat weave that I had in Calgary. And if I do that, then how big? Because right now, what I'm thinking, I'm really looking into buying the robot vacuum. It's 42% off on Amazon for Black Friday, so I'm going for it. Have that son of a bitch in here and run around, and maybe then I need to get an unlock for my gateway because this sucks, and then I can put the freaking vacuum on it too. So I also find that if you really don't want to have any struggling bugs and shite with the theater, I now tend to make it a practice that I reboot the theater before I do the tuning. So it's with the fresh brain. And once all the tuning is done and all the adjustments are done, I reboot the theater again. And then it just goes through it, no problem. Because sometimes I have issues, especially with the whoops.
Yeah, and weirdly, the more speakers that are attached to it, the more often it goes wrong for some reason.
Mm-hmm.
I don't fully understand.
What are these set to? It should be set to this for some reason.
I mean, if you are out there having a theater and if you want to whoop the speakers and you know the list where you add speakers to do it, right? If there's only one line of Beolab 50, 90, 18, whatever, you're going to have a problem. You might as well not do it because it only sees one of the two.
Mm-hmm.
And therefore it'll only whoop one of the two.
Yeah, sometimes it's
I've had that so many times now myself, but at somebody else's place as well. Like it's I don't know what's going on exactly, but there is a bug in there sometimes that sometimes creeps up.
like when I did those 50s when I had the issue with it, I power cycled the piss out of all of it. 50s take a while to come back online, bro. Like compared to the theater, fuck, you can power cycle theater 3 times in a row before the 50s show up. But I power cycled all of it, and then I ran the swoops. And once all the I didn't really, because it's a basement room specifically, just like a theater with a huge ass projector. So there was only 2 presets, narrow and wide, right, for that one chair he's got going on. And so, but yeah, you have to go into the filters and set everything. Well, set the latency to automatic. Then you're set. We can shut this down now. Stop sharing. Poof.
And it's gone.
And it's gone.
Yeah. Well, if you need a Harmony, maybe you can buy it from the LA stores.
Ooh.
Because
yeah, I read through that. It's a very interesting pickle they're in.
Because they're selling literally everything at cost or below, even to just get rid of it in all, what is it, 4 or 5 stores?
I really don't understand what the deletion behind that or cancellation of that guy is. I really do not get it. It's really sad. Who are they going to replace him with? And I really feel bad for the clientele because Cali's got money, and there's a lot of people that do have the products and systems, and who's going to be supporting that? And yeah, the deletion was exactly the same that happened to me in 2018 when they canceled the pro partnership overnight. You just get an email and say F off. Within 30 days, you'll no longer be able to order products. And
yeah, on the Discord under, was it Investor Business and Stonks? There's the original story in Danish and then also in English, if you want to read it. And it's an interesting read.
But yeah,
I don't know what to make of it.
Neither do I. Well, it's more or less all the whatever. I don't think we will ever know the true story behind what happened and how it transpired and what was the deals that are unspoken of here on the legal documents that happened, or whatever the animosity was between the BNO and the leadership in the California, because it was one guy.
Yeah.
And I think you got to piss them off pretty good if they decide to shut you down when you're just about to open a 5th store. Or they already have the 5 stores. I don't remember. But he's a significant
what I don't understand is that most
dealer.
Contracts like this, especially in California, have arbitration clauses in it. Like whereas like it's literally essentially illegal to sue each other outright, right? Before you try arbitration. So then again, I can sort of see what this guy describes in terms of B&O, and don't get me wrong, B&O, I love you guys, but sometimes you are a bit of an asshole.
Yeah, I know. I've been on that end, so I know exactly how it is, and it's a very much feels bad. But I love the product enough that I shrugged that off my shoulders and moved on with my life.
Yeah, but when you're 4 stores deep,
else.
if not
but when
5,
you're 4 stores deep, that's a big piss off. Yeah, that's a lot. That's millions of dollars that they just shaved off of your ass. Because just the fixtures on their own, like even when we did the reno, man, it was like that was a lot of money that we needed to put up in order to make those panels and all the shit to put in.
Yeah, for a store that's like 100 square meters, roughly 2,000 square feet, I think the reno cost in general is estimated by B&O to be €250,000.
Yeah,
which
that's
is
including the product on the wall, I guess.
No, I don't think so. Like it's included.
No, that's just the floors and fixtures and panels.
Yeah, because you have to get a specific floor. You have to get specific furniture that you can order.
Of course.
You have to get the leather square, whatever you call those sort of poof ottoman type things, right?
Yeah.
I mean, and they're not cheap. It's not like you get them at a discount, really.
No. Those things, it's all brand names too. Like
Yeah,
it's so serious. Obviously, like you would,
and you have to
people
get
that
that.
own B&O have serious furniture in their houses too, right?
And you have to get that herringbone wood floor that has to be a specific color from.
Yeah, specific width, length of the. Yeah, it's
Then you
exactly the
need
whole thing.
those sound deadening panels on which you can hang stuff, and then the aluminium trim that's on top of it, right? Like that can be either they change it every so often from like aluminium to gold tone to anthracite
Now it's
to
black. No, we have
yeah.
it black now, which is but they're just magnetic side panels that
Sure,
just
but you
click
still have
on.
to buy all that, and
Oh
like
yeah, oh yeah. Nothing's cheap. Nothing's cheap.
I mean, if you just like if your setup for a store was 250 grand, including product, that would be kind of reasonable because you could almost have like 50s, 90s, a Harmony and all that in there, dealer prices, right?
I don't think so. I don't think you could squeeze into that.
No, but depending on how much other stuff you need to have, right? Like if you have a smaller
I think
store.
realistically, you're looking at a $500,000 startup for
Yeah.
sure. Like
Yeah, but
if it's a
I
quarter
meant like
melon,
if it's a quarter to set up the whole store, including interior, right? Like
that's what I'm saying. It's a quarter melon in a setup and another quarter melon in gear and equipment because you're gonna have to get some fucking Lutron in there too, and you have to get some automation. You have to get some dimmer, some shades. Shades are stupid expensive, even though with the profit margins that you make on them, it's not bad, but it's still it adds up if you want to have that full flag, B1 whatever the or tier zero store that you need all that to have. And then how much time do you burn up on a guy to program all that, because it's not going to be just like it's plug
yeah,
and play and hey Google fucking do this that, right? Like no, that's
yeah.
all needs to be macroed in, fudge. Like there's a lot more to it than meets the eye.
KCBR says, pretty sure you tried to build a little monopoly and tried to get special price from B&O. Well, there is already a pricing system depending on what tier dealer you are. Like if you're
Exactly.
tier 0 dealer, that means the best, right? That means excellent. You get a better price than when you're tier 1, so you have higher margins at tier 0. But
Yeah,
that
but at tier
also
zero,
means your turnover is a lot quicker generally.
yeah, but you also have to have like 90s on display, 50s on display. So your commitment financially to the shop's showroom is much more financially significant than having being a B tier or like third tier or whatever, where you can just carry some like Holton Renfrew where they have fucking a bunch of A9s in a shape,
Yeah.
and not even a shape. I mean the balances and emerges and whatnot, and that's it. And they still consider that they still show up on a map as a dealer or a retailer, but they don't really have that balls to the wall commitment. And then you have the Amazon come in and roll your fucking grass with cheap ass products that you don't even know they're on sale because things just happen.
I mean, when you have 90s on display as a dealer, you do get a better price for them as well.
You do, but still, like that's a lot of money parked on the floor.
Sure, but like it goes both ways, right? So there is an incentive
Exactly.
for both. I'm not saying it's necessarily worth it for most dealers because, like, I think most dealers, if they're lucky, they sell a set of 90s in a year.
Yeah, we haven't moved many of those. 50s, yeah, 50s move a lot more than the
Yeah.
90s. But 90s, that's like as you've seen through the videos, like that's a fucking event and a half to move them to deal with anything, and especially here in Montreal, you now fuck around and find out that they don't fit in the house unless you take the crowns off. So next week, I believe, or a week after next, I'm scheduled to move that guy out, and we have to go there, and it's a tight ass schedule because then there's movers that come in to pick it up on the big truck and take it off. So I have to be done. I have to disassemble, move, and reassemble them on the crates, and then do it twice, of course, because you have
Mm-hmm.
two sides. And then they have to build the boxes back up. And then I don't know where they're going because as it came out, the house is not fucking finished. But I don't think that changes my life as far as because we have to get the stuff out.
I mean, in
So
terms of
yeah, it's gonna be a
90s,
lot of laps.
how much of an event? Where this podcast started in that apartment I lived in at the time, it was an old converted school building. And I could get 90s in there, but it did involve a crane to the balcony.
And that's an event.
Yes.
That's
It was
one fucking hell
possible.
of an event. Yeah, but you need a crane. Just like it's not unusual to see this in Montreal and people have pianos hauled in with the cranes.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, that's no bullshit, right? And it's yeah, 50s are much more manageable. They sound just as good, definitely not better, but they sound just as good. And if you have two pairs of them, which is still less suffering financially and backbone wise, as far as moving those around, because you can literally dolly them with a box that you can pick up more or less yourself. Where with the 90s, forget it. It's 177 kilos per box. And then you can shave 40 kilos off of it when you
Take the
try to
box
pick it
off.
up.
Yeah.
Yeah, when you take the box off, which is 40 kilos on its own. So, yeah, these are they're an event to move.
Yeah, you can get 3 sets of 50s for or a set of 90s at the moment, which is kind of.
No, I'm very happy and lucky that I bought them
I
when I bought
sometimes
them.
make the joke like we have room for another set of 50s here. Go to the old-fashioned Beolab 5 picture thing in the living room.
Oh yeah, with the BeoVision 4103.
Yeah.
That was a freaking wet dream theater shirt for everybody that's ever been involved. I don't know how good it would sound in that room with nothing but concrete and glass, but yeah.
But yeah, if maybe this guy was trying to, I don't know, get a monopoly, but with 4 stores in a small-ish area, like it's not actually small, right? But you already kind of have the monopoly. Like, where else are you gonna go when you're in and around LA, which is massive, right? Like it's the size of
It's
the
a lot of
Netherlands
money.
almost. Like literally, LA is like 80% the size of the Netherlands.
And that's just the city.
Yeah, but if you have 4 stores there, like unless you put it
It gets
somewhere,
lost in there. Fuck, like there's millions of people living there.
yeah. So it's
Also, like you take out 4 stores off the map, that really slims down the selection of where you can actually go, even just for sake of the service and anything else.
it did make me think of our issue with B&O because the Alicia Keys thing came up.
Yeah, it did.
Because I don't know if it's true, right? But apparently the dealer dude was asked to get a thank you from Alicia Keys to B&O, or because I don't know, they were given or something. Like speculation, because like we'll see what comes out of the lawsuit and what's true and what's not. But
Supposedly, the CEO gave Alicia Keys a bunch of B&O in order for them to write a thank you letter, allegedly, that would be used within the internal mail of B&O as a, like, ooh, look, Alicia Keys just wrote us like how good we are, I guess. I don't know if that's just a morale boost that had gone completely the wrong way and it took a turn down the shit avenue and now is where we're at, or whatever the firing or trigger of that animosity was. Maybe he got burnt on the deal where he had a deal with her, but they just, instead of him making the money, they just gave him the gear through Denmark instead, or to her. And
maybe that's why they were so pissed at us for that episode, for pointing out all the weird flaws.
well, yeah, because it was a shit install. The whole thing was like everything was set up incorrectly, man. So who did that?
Like none of it was public, but I got a like higher management wasn't happy with us and like remove tags and that sort of thing and get our name out the show. And after like a month, I was like, whatever, I don't care anymore. But like,
yeah, no, I remember that we whacked the beehive pretty good with the fucking rake that time.
But I would think, right, like if you give something like this and want to thank you, why don't you make that a precondition for getting it, right?
Yeah.
Like,
shit, if I got that much beer, man, be a thank you letter that wouldn't even fit on a floppy disk.
yeah, but regardless, even if to her it's peanuts, right? But regardless, right? Surely you want that in writing, because it is a bit weird that if you give somebody a gift and then like a week or two later you say, I need a thank you letter. It's like, what? Like, that's like, I understand the point if that is how it went, right? Like afterwards you go like, hey, can you go out and essentially demand a thank you letter?
Yeah,
So,
that's
like,
kind of very
wait, what?
I don't understand that.
Like,
not good.
yeah, I don't know. Maybe that's more normal in Denmark, but I would think that's weird here.
Yeah, I would agree. I don't think that that's by any book and measure than that I'm used to. It's that's a normal behavior to do that. Sorry about the noise.
I mean, I do think the guy's name is kind of funny, David Junk.
Yeah, but that's unfortunate.
Like, you can't help that.
But it's yeah, I don't know. Well, whatever the issue is, it's gonna be resolved before court. That's the end of that.
Yeah, but that takes years in California.
Oh yeah. So and what are they gonna? Is somebody going to actually fill in the blank and the gap and take over, or are they just gonna close all of it and destroy, basically throw out all the fixtures, like all that money that was invested in these stores that are basically brought up to the new standard? Is BNO actually silly enough to just get rid of it all and then reship it all back in and open a new store, if even they're going to open a store? Which I don't think it makes any sense to close them to begin with. Like, you don't have that many, you don't have that heavy of a representation in US for you to be going around closing 4 stores out of the gate.
Well,
just,
even if you want to make another flagship store, that's going to take 2 years.
Yeah.
By the time you, especially California, because everything is slow. It's
Yes.
ridiculously slow. Like, so you have to find something that's already built that has the correct permits. And even then you have to get everybody in and get all the stuff in. And God, it's a disaster. So, and I bet you can't really do anything until this is resolved.
Most likely, and I would even bet that that's what it would be.
I mean, to get a lawsuit started on anything, you're like 12 to 18 months in, and that's when you start, right? And then it can take anywhere.
But who do you hire after? Let's say this is all fixed and figured out. Like, who do you hire for staff as B&O when they come in? Like, they're gonna go completely blind.
Epiphany World says, I'm lost what's going on. The guy that owned 4 stores in and around LA, Hollywood, that sort of thing,
Got shut down.
Got shut down, all 4 stores, and he was opening a 5th one. So also, if you want a deal on products, right? Like, they're selling literally everything that's in the store for very low prices. If you're in the US, it's going to be quite
Vulture pick.
good prices, though it has to come obviously from California. And if you're local, it's easier. But essentially, the guy said, like, everything must go. I think somebody's looked it up, and they were selling a Harmony. I don't know which one, for $8,000.
Yeah, but you better fucking drive and pick that up, because there's no way it will ship across anywhere.
But we just saw that the 65
like
inch is 22 grand MSRP, right?
Yeah, no, that's
I mean, that also kind of shows an enormous middle finger from them to B&O.
Mm-hmm.
Like, it's not even cost. It's literally like, I don't care anymore. Like, it's below cost.
Yeah, will this sell for that money? I think so. Put it online for this much, and that's it. People will scoop it up. Fuck, $8,000. That's, the panel is what? How big was the TV? 70?
I don't know. Even if it's a 65, it's like $3,500 for the panel alone.
Yeah. Man.
I mean, and all bases work with all other sizes, so you can always upscale it.
Mm-hmm.
So it's
it's a sad state of affairs, but that does happen indeed. And I've been through it with B&O, but they just basically terminated 153 professional partners throughout the entire America, and left only a few that left the stores opened.
I feel lucky now in Florida that, like, closest is Orlando, which is still an hour and a half away, or Miami, which is 4 hours away, 4.5.
Yeah, but at least
it's something,
it's
right?
It's in the same state to begin with.
Yeah.
And yeah, it's in the country, because here it's either Vancouver or Montreal, basically. And there's one guy, I honestly do not remember his name or the business name, but there's one guy in Regina, Saskatchewan.
I mean, also,
I don't know if he's still a partner or not.
if you have 4 stores, let's say you average 400 customers a store, right? Which seems reasonable, like on the low end, really.
But he had reported in the last few years like 15% increase in all shops.
Yeah, but like times, so it's like 2,000 people with high-end B&O setups that have nowhere to go now.
Yeah.
Like, this is a fucking disaster. And it's also in one of the wealthiest areas in the world.
Yeah, I not that I don't feel bad for him, but I feel very bad for the clientele because that is just a very big sour no
Yeah.
from BNO, and that's that happened in Calgary, and after I left, like there's enough support through Nick that he's doing his like he's living his life, he's got another job, so it's not something that we it's focused on that we can just do it, but it still gets done, things get fixed. But there is no more new movement. There's no more new product, which I think Calgary, even though it's kind of dead, it still would. I think the Alberta would do still a good business because there's people that would buy from Edmonton because 3 hours really on Albertan terms is not really that far of a drive, right?
Yeah.
So
I mean,
yeah, it's a sad state of affairs. Apparently, hopefully, soon enough, there will be a store open in Toronto. I don't know if it's still in the air or if it's actually just a pipe dream. I don't know, but if it's a reality, then I guess it mows our lawn a little bit because it takes a little bit of the market coverage from Montreal to Toronto or the Ontario province. But you know what? I'd rather have them shop in Toronto than us worrying about shipping stuff and it comes there in a few pieces. That's one of the shops.
yeah, that's the one in La Jolla where like, apparently the Ferrari dealer is next door. So just to sort of given a sort of
Nice.
inclination of where, what sort of area we're talking about, right?
Very poor neighborhood.
Yeah. Like, this is also where like half of Hollywood shops for their high-end interior audio.
Everything. Yeah. It makes zero sense other than it's a middle finger of some sort. That's all there is to it.
Or it really got so burned down, the relationship, that, yeah. But to get to that, like, unless one or the other is being extremely petty, childish, but I almost can't
Unreasonable.
fathom that, right? Because both sides have so much money into this.
A, B, if he's still making money and getting ahead in profits, I don't understand. I do not understand where that is, but not much we'll find out till this is over with, more or less, if it's ever going to get over with or if they're just going to settle out of court and forget about it. And in the meantime, the people of California are basically screwed because there's nobody there to fix them up unless some of those guys that are installers pick up,
I
a
mean,
CI member, a partnership with
yeah,
B&O, which is kind of weird because now you're going to go against your own boss.
yeah.
And if you had a good relationship with the guy and you feel bad for him, would you go and go to B&O, give me the license so I can
Well, you
continue?
probably have a non-compete because the company that owns the shops that had the license is still around, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like, that just doesn't vanish. So you probably have a non-compete in there.
Yeah. And that's, sometimes stipulated for a few years, maybe even.
Yeah. So it's I don't know. I think there's still a shop or two in like San Francisco, but that's hours away.
Yeah.
I mean, that might as well be saying like I live in Amsterdam and all the shops close near me, but fortunately there's one in Hamburg. It's just like, what?
Yeah, here the distances here are perceived a little different, but still. On a clear day in California, you can sue for miles. Yeah, you can definitely. So, yeah, it's a shitty deal.
Open a
But
dealership on Alcatraz.
has there been a Halo update, anybody yet, or no? They haven't gone public with it. I'm
I
just wondering.
honestly haven't looked.
Okay.
I mean, I flipped this room around in case nobody's. I mean, it's the same green, but like the door is there, which used to be behind me, and
Hmm.
it's just slightly different again.
Nice.
So it took a while. I didn't. I hope the audio's slightly better because I put a carpet in here.
It sounds good.
I mean, I was listening back a while ago, and it's like it's not bad, but like I hear a lot of sort of
Reverb.
reverb and resonances and stuff, and it's sort of like, yeah, not too happy about like because I know what this should sound like, and it
Mm.
sounded kind of hollow in here.
Yeah, I don't know. The portals, I guess they sound the same
Pretty
in
much.
most of the scenarios. Yeah, which is good. Maybe one of these days we'll get like the boom arm and mic and shit. Be all professional. But we've been at it for what, 6 years?
Yeah, something like that.
To the next episode, bro. So yeah, I gotta say that at least the software department is doing a great job, and the updates that are coming, you guys should definitely look forward to, especially the Halo owners. It kind of sucks though that Halo has really no function unless you unlock the gateway. You can't really do anything with it.
Supposedly they're already gone. Like
What?
even the website no longer shows the stores.
Oh yeah, they wiped them clean off their website too.
It seems like it, yeah.
Oh, shit, Taki mushrooms.
Because like from let's say from here, right, Huntington Beach to like West Hollywood is in miles not that far.
Hmm.
But because California traffic is crazy, uh, what would be I don't know with light traffic and essentially normal other places, it probably could be like 30 to 40 minutes. In LA, it could also take you 4 hours, like regularly, right? Like
Fuck.
from what I was told, like in LA, you don't really say like how far is something. You don't say it's X miles,
You're telling the
kilometers.
time. Yeah,
Yeah. So,
it's
oh,
the
that's
same
four
here.
hours away, but that doesn't mean like it's far. It just means it takes a long time to get to somewhere.
It just means you're gonna be in the car for 4 hours, bro. But yeah, that's a sad state of affairs for the Cali people, in my opinion.
Yeah, uh there's a classic service center, custom integrator, custom integrator, custom integrator. There's no more shops in the entirety of California.
Fuck.
Holy
Matt,
shit.
Matt, I had it on the wall, but I ordered the spare stand plate part thing for. I'm surprised how much, and I put it on, so now it's a table remote. So I use it here around the kitchen. I didn't really want to commit it on the wall somewhere because I move around with it. But yeah, the Halo has definitely become much more usable. And for all y'all that are waiting for the software update, the new one is definitely something to look forward to. Yeah, there's not much there. Hey, San Francisco, I guess.
Yeah, it's literally nothing essentially. It's just custom integrators and service centers.
Wow. At least the custom integrators will pick up some of that slack, and at least in service side, if not on in sales.
Uh, is it into Preppy? If you open your app and you go to the music thing, you go to the top streaming service, and that's where you have to select Deezer or Tidal.
Yeah, here I can show that if you want. I can share the screen.
If it still doesn't work, then I don't know. But I suspect if you don't get any sound and you did reboot it, it's a credentials thing, or it's still set to Deezer. That
If your My buttons are set for Deezer, then it'll automatically default into the Deezer through the app. It'll change the streaming service from Tidal to Deezer.
yeah.
So make sure all your My buttons are correlated to, or delete the Deezer out of them, because I don't think Tidal is selectable yet unless you have it play and save it. Uh, is it? Let's see. I'm gonna start this again.
If you still don't get any sound, I don't know what's going on. Either something's not connected, or like the theater doesn't have any internet Wi-Fi going on. It's too hard to tell in YouTube comments.
Oh shit! I just turned on the radio.
Well, at least you have less bass now.
A little bit. So if I hold and go there, yeah, the title is here now. You can select title instead of Deezer. It changes it.
But there's no reason title doesn't work, right? Or like really any known bugs with it?
No, not that I know of. Where are we? Oh my God, come on. Okay, so let's go to this Lounge FM thing, press and hold. See, I have title now, but let's go what you were talking about to begin with. So you go to your Deezer or a music app, and under the settings wheel, you pick
title, and you sign in.
I'm signing into both, but if you go in and let's say we go and we change this guy to title, there's only so many playlists because I don't have many playlists in here.
Also,
but
make sure that your speaker group / listening position defaults to something, not none. Maybe that's also an obvious thing.
That's also a problem. Yeah, that might be a problem for you because if it's not a default either. Okay, so there's the Deezers, and if I go back to, let's say, this my button here, see, so that button really just changes based on your streaming service, and this one you see like there is way more.
Yeah.
But
then in the atmosphere, you can actually set listening positions and stuff.
So yeah, in atmosphere, here's where you can set. See, like you can actually set it to the direct mode. You can set the listening positions to what you want. If you want it to be in stereo, of course, right?
Yeah.
And you can also set the default volume, which can go all the way up to 60. But that's about it. So we're just gonna shut all this off.
Wait, your default volume is 42?
No, I just slid it down.
I was gonna say, God, that's loud.
Not really. Not really.
I mean, even like 40. I had it set to 36 on this stage in the bedroom, and I feel that's too loud for radio, Beano radio.
Well, my V1 in the bedroom is set to 20 volume. And that's a 32-inch screen. Yeah, like it's really quiet because in the morning, like it does get freaking loud, man. Like perceivably loud, right? Considering that your ears are rested and there's nothing else going on and it's pretty quiet. So at 22 volume, it goes. It's loud. It's not fun.
Well, even the workaround, because we have that weird issue still on occasion. It's been good for the last 4 days, but 5 days ago we had it, and then I think yesterday evening we had it again, where like you press a my button and fuck all happens under HDMI 2.
I had that issue every now and then now where I press the my button and it just goes poop poop. Nothing else happens.
Yeah, anyway, the workaround was go to B&O radio on the stage and then press it again and then it works.
Well, I have the same problem sometimes when I turn on my button YouTube. I have no sound. I have to go turn on either Deezer, title, or B&O radio, and then then the sound comes in, and then it feeds through the theater as well. And the listening preset is set to whatever I had it set to. So for sometimes it's just.
But B&O really radio bizarre. On the stage at volume 36 or 38 was too loud. Like it's like fuck, like holy shit, like. Even when you're awake, right? And it's evening and you're used to the all day sound. It's like, damn, this is loud. So that's why I was like 42 startup sounds, like with 90s, like, brave.
Oops, not here.
Yes. Oh yeah, I nearly forgot about this. Les has a harmony with some very nice speakers attached to it.
Yeah.
What is the status of Tidal on harmonies, and is it worth it to switch over with a harmony?
Well, here, let's go back a little bit here. Let's go to the ASC platform. And let's switch to
That looks like Deezer, yeah.
Tidal. I switched it to Tidal. I mean, these are before that. So streaming service is Tidal. And it works now.
But on the Harmony, is it an internal streamer?
See, the problem that I have that I don't know on the Beosound one, because this is obviously in beta as well. You can only choose it from the app. The Deezer's, I mean, the Tidal source does not exist on the Beo Remote one.
Yeah.
And this thing is too old to have my buttons unless I save one, and then it would save probably playing that playlist. But it does work. It also does work if you go to if you start playback from, let's say, bathroom, which it's not going to affect anything here.
Yeah, I know you can join, but if you just want to...
So you can join in.
If you just want to sit with your Harmony closed, right, in audio mode and listen to your 50s and or 90s. Like,
yeah. Interesting. See. Let's...
other than controlling it from the app, like you can't really use the Beo Remote 1, right? And also, since the Harmony doesn't do Atmos, is there really a benefit to going Tidal?
Not really, I don't think.
I mean, that's just my thought as well. Like,
okay, there we go.
It's a slightly different story with a theater, because you have the potential for Atmos listening. But
yeah, but that I think that's relevant, because with the theater you have got to be, you can't consume Atmos from the app. You have to do it through the Tidal app on the screen.
Yeah.
Because this, so far, it does not stream. I haven't been able to see the signal to be Atmos at all. B, I also think that there's still, given that I'm in the beta, sometimes the signal info is all fucked up. It doesn't show. It shows the output allocation and processing, direct or true image, and 5.2 or 5.0.2, whatever.
Mm-hmm.
But these are blanked out. They show exactly like that.
In your experience, is the generic FLAC files that you stream better on Tidal versus Deezer, or is it kind of the same?
Tidal sounds better. Tidal sounds more dynamically rich on the 90s. Like, I've been listening to Deezer for a long time.
Mm-hmm.
However, that being said, is it the Tidal or is it the fucking theater? Because I've listened to Deezer in the 90s on Off the Moment, for the love of Christ on the cross. And I listened to the 90s through majority of that time on Avant. I've had it on the Eclipse for about a few months, and then I sold the Eclipse, and then because it didn't work with the gateway, I was fuck that. So, and I went back to the Avant, and that's where that acoustic signature for me died really within my ears. Now, sitting in front of the 90s here with the theater, even in the direct mode, which that's how I prefer to listen to music, because obviously this is set up for no friends and one chair. And I sat down my girlfriend actually yesterday for the first time to, like, you should just listen to this shit for a bit. So yeah, she was just like, it was great. I love the face. So yeah, the direct mode, Deezer, is not as dynamically clean as it is on the Tidal. Obviously, when you run 24-bit app, 24-bit quality stream. I don't know what Deezer does, because it doesn't tell you really.
Yeah. Well, I think the limiting factor really in this question is because the 50s and or 90s are attached to a Harmony, right?
Yeah, that's a big limiter, in my opinion.
Like, and I don't think it sounds bad. Like, it's not like the Harmony is necessarily worse, but I'm more so. I guess the question is, like, is there a benefit when the driver of 50s or 90s is an ASE platform, i.e. Harmony, Eclipse? First, I mean, I know for a fact it is different and better through the theater, but if that's not the question, it's kind of irrelevant, right?
Hmm. Also, I have a Ghost Beosound A5 on my account that I cannot get rid of. It's on the Halo remote. I don't know how this got here, but this is from the shop when I was playing on it, for service. For some reason, it shows here, and I cannot get rid of it. I wondered. I don't think I have it hidden. Which this is actually a very nice feature that B&O has introduced, where you can hide products from the client's menu, especially when they have 28s connected to the theater. Oh, you call this the tabarnak? It is fucking hidden here. Get off. Yeah, we need to remove this. That's why he's you little son of a bitch. Is it back there still? Okay, so it's not. So, anyways, yeah, you can hide products, so now you can't see the thing online. But now, if I go back, there is a where is it? Oh, right here. So we can go back to it, and then I can just remove it from my account because, yeah, very good feature though. So people
Yeah.
have, and also I don't know now. Quite honestly, like I'm very torn between how to hook up to the new generation of speakers. Like you know, from the installer perspective, I would prefer to do it on a WISA, right? Because we know it's more stable, or at least it works, right?
Mm-hmm.
I haven't had issues with the digital power link, but it's too new. But I love the features, functions that you can utilize the top panels of your speakers, right? You can still hide them within the setup, but they can still be a volume controllers and your preset controllers for your main system. So, because that information doesn't travel with WISA, right?
Yeah.
So, I don't know. Here, I can close that again. Let's stop sharing. Stopping sharing, confirming, poof, poof, off, off. So, here. But yeah, there are a little bit of a buggy things in the app going on every now and then. I also have, okay, here's an interesting finding.
By the way,
Uh,
coming back and finishing off the title,
yes.
it's actually pretty comparable now.
Mhm.
I mean, I think if you want a family plan, title's actually cheaper now by $3 a month, and the
Hmm.
individual plan is $1 a month cheaper.
That's cool. I
I
bought
mean,
this ridiculous
if
cigarillo
quality
stuff.
is the same at that point, it starts. Let's say title is better for the sake of argument, but it doesn't matter to the harmony. Then just go for price. Like you can move all your playlists over.
The only thing that I would say that a benefit is with the title versus the Deezer is the fact that if you do have a set of B&O headphones, you're now able to listen to your title account through the B&O app. So you can manage all of your experience within one app. So from sound settings to playlists, blah, 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 everything works, where Deezer is not supported on the headphones. That's one of the reasons why I kind of moved over. But I also moved over because now with the 90s in the front, I wanted to just do a little bit of an A to B, and quite honestly, Deezer sticks as a winner. I mean, as a title sticks as a winner versus the Deezer on songs that I had beaten to the ground on every single pair of speakers that I've ever owned.
Yeah, I guess I'm just really used to Deezer because God, we've been using it for so long now.
Well, for me, it was weird because, yeah, I've been at it since 2012, basically, when the Avant came out, right? Because that was the first move to the Deezer, so 12 years ago. A long time.
I mean, another thing that I guess it works now, but like all the ASC stuff won't really work with it. But I have to figure out for myself how much of the Deezer I actually use on like my Beosound 2. Probably not that much. Like it's more B&O radio anyway. Like that's a startup.
Yeah, but the support is coming for it for the AAC platforms to have the title on it. That's coming.
Yeah.
So the transition wouldn't be that severe, in my opinion.
So in that case, you might as well
And
save yourself $12 a year or whatever.
I would go to title because the writing's on the wall. B&O's moving into title, and you know, I think that Deezer may fall down the same path as Moment was, that it's going to be not much supported on the further newer products.
I mean, Tidal is laying off a fair few people, but it's going to be interesting, right? Like if we, like 9 months from now or so, switch back again to Deezer because they're still alive and Tidal isn't.
Is whose title? Was it Puff Daddy's? No.
No, Jay-Z.
Or Jay-Z, okay.
Same difference, really. They had parties together.
They partied along together.
There's
yeah,
weird unclosed pictures of them floating around on the internet.
so yeah, I think what Epiphany World is saying that maybe that's why it sounds better, that the title has a better codec. But yeah, I do find acoustical difference between the two playing the same song A to B.
You don't have a managed network where you are, right?
Not anymore, no.
I guess I can check at some point then. Maybe
What?
I'll start a free trial and see if there's actually a data rate difference. Like
On
Deezer versus Tidal. Like song 1 from Deezer, like how much data does that pull versus the same song from Tidal?
yeah, that's a not bad experiment actually.
So I guess I'll have to start a free trial at some point.
But what if it's an efficiency in the codec that is better? Then you know that the data might be more or less marginally the same or within a few megabytes. But
sure, but like even a 10% data difference is noticeable, right?
oh yeah, 100%.
I mean, even in MP3s, right? Like 300 kilobits a second versus 350 is somewhat noticeable. If it goes to 600, it's really noticeable, and it's still like MP3, right? It's still crap. It's still, I don't know.
Compressed as shit.
Yeah. I mean, Spotify is essentially crap, but that's why it works everywhere on any data plan, even remote, because like
it's the cheapest way to listen to music.
It's essentially all MP3s.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I don't. Spotify was cool back in the day. Back in the day, the only thing that could, show the Spotify's drawbacks were the lap fives. If you had them playing through the BeoMaster 5 on the digital output.
But at the time, what other choice did you have? What other company was there?
Nothing. Fucking, we were happy that we had Spotify on the BeoSound 5 till they,
I mean, the other option was buy everything or listen to radio.
Yeah. Yeah, well, that's the era where music wasn't really, the streaming services were at their very infancy. Now we're taking it for granted that, it should have this, it should have that, it should have this, it should have that. In fact, man, I come from the days when, I had shelves that had CDs on them, for God's sakes.
I mean, even if I don't think Deezer really says, but it could be CD quality, which is 16-bit 44 kilohertz, right? Like if Tidal actually does 24-bit whatever kilohertz, that should be more data.
I think it does 24 at 48 kilohertz.
Yeah, that should be more data, regardless of efficiency.
Yes.
Like I don't think you can, even if you're 10% more efficient, would be
I think
amazing.
It's
still more
data.
Third. Yeah.
It should be more by a third if it's 16 to 24, right? There's 8 more bits per every 16.
Yeah, once I have some time, which I don't know if it's before December, I can maybe check that because I have Ubiquity and can see specific network streams.
Mm-hmm.
But other than that, it seems like Tidal is cheaper now, so you might as well if you pay for a year plan. It's not like you're missing out on anything on Tidal.
No, I don't think so.
I mean, I just think
I find all the music that I had on my Deezer account, I find it there too. So I don't really, there is no difference that I can perceive, or
I mean,
than, sound wise, it's a little bit more friendlier to the ear.
The only
as
thing I
far
can
as the
think of
Deezer
is
is.
like having the harmony down in audio mode, right, and working it that way through the Beo Remote One.
It will show. Where was I? It shows title.
But does it show
I
artist and all that stuff as well, or
Yeah, it
just?
shows the album art. Where the heck was I?
Oh,
I
that's
did a
been an
service call.
upgrade then, because before it just was like title, right? Like it's that's all it
Yeah.
said.
No, no, no. It shows it like it showed the Deezer with the album art in the progress bar.
Interesting. In that case, yeah, why not? Just go for it.
I don't know where the heck did I see that. Who had title? I did a service call with the Harmony not too long ago, and it
Epiphany
was
Worlds
there.
are talking about that. Do you guys have the impression that Dolby True HD, for example, has more bass than Dolby Digital? Yes, absolutely. But it also Dolby Digital is also more compressed depending on what you do, right? Like if it's streaming
Hmm.
versus like streaming from your own server, like you do not have true HD over any streaming service other than maybe the was it the 20 grand? What's that? Stacks.
Kaleidoscope.
Yeah, kaleidoscope system. That I think that's the only one that could potentially do true HD because every film is like
Downloaded to your
50
hard drive.
gigabytes or
No,
something.
it's a straight rip of a Blu-ray.
Yeah.
Exact. So, speaking of streaming services, that was the first time I've ever witnessed Netflix live stream, which was the fight.
Oh, yeah, I didn't watch it.
Oh my god! I think, in my opinion, it was the greatest robbery of mankind ever because they both just kind of made out together and walked away with $60 million.
Wait, it
But
was
the
that
first,
much?
oh yeah, but the girls, I forget Serrano and this Irish girl, I forget her name, Tyler something. Man, they went like fucking stitches, bro. They went hard. It was really good fight, and then they came out. Those two were just like, "What are we doing here?" I mean, this is like a fucking lunchroom grade 11 fight, and even those guys probably pull more shirts and hair than these two did. So yeah, it was a sad state of affairs, but yeah, they made some money.
For that much money, like
I'd go in the
if you
ring with
need me to
it.
win, I'll win. If you need me to lose, I'll lose. Sure.
Oh yeah, dude. Oh yeah. So yeah, it was a shit show. But yeah, anyways, like it was pretty cool. For me, I was interested more or less in the fact that like from the nerd stat, like okay, how many millions of people are watching this? Is Netflix going to be able to actually supply?
Turns out
You
no.
know? Yeah, I didn't have any issues.
All of the US did. There was a point where it was only viewable on Twitter, essentially.
No way, man! I had the whole stream going on.
Yeah,
4K,
my
biatch.
sister in the Netherlands said like it was grainy as all hell. It was like you're watching TV like 15 years ago on a modern TV, and she had to
Wow,
refresh it several times.
I had absolutely zero issues.
Yeah,
Like
it may
it
be a
was in
location
high def.
slash server thing, right?
I had high def everything. It was like in 4K. It was perfect. No pixeling, no nothing, no dropouts, no pausing. It just worked.
Yeah, my sister said it was like
That's why I was
360
impressed.
360p or something most of the time.
Holy shit balls, man! Every now and then my videos. Sometimes actually I do find that if the 90s are not on and you start, now they always turn on. But before that, when I didn't have them assigned to a speaker group, the switch had to be, I guess, activated more than what it was in a standby set. I don't know, because it came in like exactly 320p.
It's probably to do with the sort of sleep slash hibernate state, right? Where like that
Yeah, it doesn't happen when they're on.
when you have to comply with EU rules and that sort of thing,
Yeah.
why passively power this switch at all?
Yeah.
Because I mean, it does more than just being a switch, because the whole DPL thing needs power.
Yeah, but it works. I don't have any issues with the network, like in between. And first I ran it as an experiment and more or less for the sake of cable tidiness,
Yeah,
right? And management, because I'd rather not run two extra cables into the back of the theater, right, than having to run them because I would have to run a network in and
yeah.
the network back out into the master primary. So this way there's only one cable going, which is network into the primary right now. There's going to be another one going coax and a little fucking white PL cable, which I'm going to hook up the link eye. I was hooking up the wrong link eye, call this. Join play is not the one. It's the non-auto contrast Beosystem 3i. So the one with just you plug in with the headphone jack, and it takes 4 cables out of the Cat 7 bind.
Huh.
That's why it didn't work. So
Wait, you
I'm
didn't
going to.
you had a link eye before, right? Did you
I
just lose
specifically
it?
dug up the fucking join play because I thought I saw it somewhere, and it was the converter that I wasn't messed up with, right? But on the actual, I dug up on the BOI's document with the manual with the link I set up, and call this. It's the freaking the non auto contrast, just a straight dumb IR receiver,
Yeah.
which I'm gonna fit into the back of the 9000, and everything's gonna be kosher meats. And I'll put a shorting pin in the 9000 too, just for the shits and giggles.
With a Mark III and the latest software, do you even need that?
No, but I have one, so fucking put it in.
You never have to take it out.
No, I have to
Just
deal
like
with it.
storage. Store it in here.
That's right. And the one I got, dude, it's a hard one to take out because it's like the OG BNO, which is just it's a DIN metal connector plug, right?
Mm.
With like the sap on it. Just that's it. So if you plug it in, good luck. It stays.
Yeah, needle nose pliers and get it out.
Pretty much. And we both know how awesome to work with a connector panel in the back of the 9000 is.
Yeah, it's
The worst. It's the worst. Absolutely the worst.
Yeah, you need little raccoon hands.
Fudge, especially for the FM antenna. I always just rip it out and resplice it after. It's easier than suffering with it.
Yeah, especially for me when it was on the wall, right? Like it was literally like you hold something like in between your fingers here, and I could sort of do like.
Yeah, it's not fun. That's why I use those windbacks, because you put them between the wall bracket and the 9000, and right, so it holds.
Yeah, but my fingers didn't fit
You
that
can't
well
fit the
between the
fingers,
metal plate and the back cubby either. So I could like hold it in front, but still it was like, eh.
Yeah,
Like,
I guess your hands are bigger than mine, but I wear gloves, so they're about the same thickness with the gloves when I work with it. So yeah, it's a shit show.
I guess I'm
It
a
is the
pro
worst.
already at rectal exams because of like thousands.
Prerequisite. I've serviced the 9000 a couple times. Fudge. But yeah, I'm looking forward to hooking that up and playing some CDs. And no surprise, actually, a couple of clients saw my post on the Instagram. Obviously, Stefan did too. But yeah, Stefan, you're more than welcome to come over and give him a listen. Like
Maybe
I
you
said,
want to buy some?
But I need to get the carpet. I need to dampen this acoustically a little more. I also have a set of lap 4s just looking at me in the box here that I found. Remember the ones I cried about so much I couldn't find? Yeah, they turned out to be where the fuck exactly I put them, on the bottom, but beside the 90s. I just couldn't reach them. And
one thing that's slightly weird to me, right? Like if you go to B&O's homepage and like gifts for the home, because like we're gonna do Black Friday and that sort of nonsense soon.
Yeah,
but
it's coming.
Today is B&O's 99th anniversary. Yes, like literally today.
Happy birthday, B&O.
But like,
that's all we get.
Yeah, where's the party? Like, where's like, this is quite literally something you can congratulate yourself about, and or thank your customers, or do whatever, or have a little fun with.
You're almost at 100 years.
Yeah, and, which is like literally the oldest AV company around. Like,
oh yeah, they have been for a long time. Well, I guess ever since.
Yeah.
But you know, they should celebrate that a little more. By the way, the Beosound Explorer in campfire or bonfire orange looks absolutely sexy. It actually does look like freaking burning charcoal.
I mean, we did get another set of price rises last week, or on the 14th, 3-4 days ago.
Yeah, to celebrate the 99th birthday, bro.
It's like, yes,
Somebody's
pay more for 8s.
somebody's got to pay for the cake.
Well, I guess I missed out on paying for that.
But yeah, this is very beautiful. Actually, I was surprised. I thought it was a bit too screamy, but it's beautiful. I really like that.
KCBR says they like that in the Netherlands for sure.
What?
The orange. Orange is the national color.
Oh, is that right? Oh yeah,
Yeah.
they'll probably sell a lot. It's going to be a patriotic stereo system or a Bluetooth speaker for Netherlands.
I mean, the royal
yeah,
family's last surname is of Orange, essentially.
Oh, okay.
So, like, you have the Dutch flag, which is red, white, and blue, right? And then there's an orange sash floating above it.
Interesting.
So, I don't know. Maybe this will sell like crazy in the Netherlands. Would be nice for this.
Mm-hmm. No, it's a very nice color. I strongly recommend if you haven't seen it. It looks almost exactly like it's shown on the picture, which is unique for B&O.
I like that they matched all the surfaces.
Yes, yes. Yeah, it looks very sexy. Very sexy indeed. It's bonfire. It's not orange. Yeah. No, it's a very nice color.
I mean,
Cheers to B&O, bro.
Yeah. Happy birthday, B&O. Still quite annoyed that you do price rises this often, but
I think we're looking at it periodical twice a year for sure.
yeah, well, this was the third time this year.
Yeah. Maybe they'll do it quarterly. Fuck. You never know. This is going up now to $2,000. Jesus Lord.
Yeah.
17. And what's the Nordic weave is what, 17 as well?
15 and a half. Ex sales tax, obviously, for any Euros watching. So add another, I don't know, between 7 and 12%, depending on region in North America.
Yeah. Or 17% if you live in fucking Quebec.
Holy shit.
Yeah, it's 17% tax here, bro. It hurts the booty. Go paying for shit. Like some of the stuff is actually cheaper for me to get shipped to my mom's house and have her ship it to me. And I'll save on tax like a lot. That's one of the reasons why I'm considering now that the stupid vacuum is 42% off. I'll just buy it here because it's still reasonable. And instead of sending it there. But yeah, it's the taxes definitely are different here than in Europe, or perception of them. Not what you see is not what you pay, regardless.
Yeah, so let's go to the Netherlands because that's pretty average with sales tax.
Close the window, it's freaking cold.
Cool. This is yeah, it's expensive.
Mm-hmm. I wonder what they're gonna do with the level, because the A5 acoustically outperforms it, in my opinion, a bit on the bass side, and also the functionality is greater with the built-in Qi charger versus and I don't know how many of you have a level and you have that bug, but the microphone now doesn't work apparently, so I don't have a mic working on my level, and it's nothing wrong with the board, I don't think, because it says the microphone state is on. So I do not know what's going on.
$500 off on the Ferrari edition.
That's not too tragic, but I guess
500 euro off for these. I
wonder if they made too many, I guess, or they want to push on the Atelier now, which is insane amount of money.
Well, it's the deal thing that's going on. God, I've seen this in real life, and it's fucking wonderful.
It's gorgeous. It is absolutely gorgeous. We've had one, obviously. No, we had two. We sold them within a month.
But it's one of these things where it's like, I don't need it. It's really expensive versus another one. I'm kind of lusting after it. But it's like a 50-50 battle of emotion and rationale. And so far, it's, I guess, 40 951 where rationale keeps on winning.
And yeah, the 50s Ferrari, and I think that's a 6-month lead on that if you order it, which is it's the whole theater package. No, I think it's the theater with the 50s.
No, you can buy them individually.
You can buy them individually. Yeah.
But the 50s are like 90 grand or something.
I don't think that aluminium frets on the back are cheap to make either. But I don't think they're that expensive to make that it would grant the premium of Prime. But then again, it's you want to be a
Holy
collector
moly.
or a special guy, then go with that. If you want to go with something crazy, you go with the Ferrari edition.
So it's 55 grand euro for 50s with cloth on the front now.
So just the regular ones.
Well, regular no longer is with oak. Regular is with cloth on all sides.
Oh, really?
Yeah, that's the... When they launched, it was with oak and cloth, and that was standard. And like a year later, the new standard was cloth all around.
And put premium on it.
Yeah, because it was it 3,600 euro to get 4 oak back panel covers back then. We're talking what, 2017, 2018. So that might be more, but so with the aluminium covers, you're probably 59,000 euro. And then this is the Ferrari edition is 88,000 euro. Holy moly. That's a 33 grand premium for the Ferrari edition. 33 grand.
Fudge. They look sexy as fuck, though.
Not that long ago, you could buy a whole nother set of 50s for 33 grand.
Yes. That red thing is aluminium, actually. It's not just fabric paint.
No, it's not. It protrudes a bit from the side as well.
Yeah. It's an actual aluminium piece. Very cool. Very, very cool.
I mean, I like them a lot, but like even mentally, I don't think I could ever justify that. Unless I really had that much money that like whatever, right? Like if I really didn't care about like 100 grand or so, then sure. But I don't think that's happening anytime
If you have
soon.
a bunch of Ferraris in the garage, dude, I think this is not for our wallets per se.
No.
And even if it's not that it's not even for my wallet, it's not for my justification. Like I have nothing that relates to this in my collection of anything that I own. That these would be a significant.
Wait, so if they made a special edition Audi one for like 80 grand, you could justify it?
Oh, I don't think so. I'm not that much of a car nut.
Like get the 4 rings sideways on it.
No, I don't think I would still go for it.
Because you have that baby Audi Bear and that electric Audi car.
It's not electric, it's a fucking A5, bro. And the e-tron, that's as far as I'll ever go with owning an electric vehicle is the Lego e-tron. That's about it. But it's weird, that lamp behind my head looks like I have a halo going. I'm holy. It's weird. Anyways, yeah. I don't know, like to each their own. Like I stopped judging this because it's not going away, and getting mad over it like I did with Berluti at the end of the day. Like now this shit is sought after. You know what, to each their own. I'm happy with my silver theater and walnut and my, I guess now you can call custom 90s. But would I go for that? I don't know. It's quite a bit of a step.
The Ferrari theater is at least an 8 grand premium.
Mm-hmm. It looks sexy as hell, man. But I understand like the entire finish of it, everything is custom, so depends on how many they do.
I mean,
I
I
think they have
could
to do
go
at
for the
least
grill,
500. I would probably consider the grill.
but that's going to be 3 or 4 grand. Probably.
Oh, easy, easy, easy. I don't know. Maybe even the silver ones would be good, like the Lab 8s that the guys have done. But no, the grill on this is aluminum. It's the same. It almost is the same color. It reminds me of like the graphite Beolab 12-3s. Remember that
Yeah.
limited run of them with the Mark II BeoVision 12?
I think they were called Topaz or something.
Yeah. So yeah, it's nice, but I one thing that bugs me is that fucking horse on the bottom left corner. That's just not good.
I kind of like it because it's subtle and small. Another thing that they seem to have done is like these wings are not reflective. Like it's kind
No.
of matte,
Yeah, yeah, they're
right?
matte.
Which is kind of nice.
Yeah, it must be like a silk finish almost to it.
Yeah.
I would have put the logo underneath, like in on the stand itself, not on the platter, but on that neck, the horse. I think would look good there, or on the platter.
Yeah, just straight in the middle at that point.
I think it would look much better than having a little subtle one on
I
the
think you
bottom.
could also go a
Right,
bit
left.
bigger if it was here on the bottom.
I think so too. But
But it's kind of subtle. I do like it. It's just, again, the
mhm.
premium. Holy smokes.
I think for that amount of premium, they should also supply the matching surround frame for the TV, which isn't that hard to replace. That would be a nice touch to have the panel match the wings and the entire theme of it.
I mean, if nothing else, this render of the screen on it is from an old C2 because I have that C2 with the black
Yeah.
edge.
hmm Yeah, they always render them with the C panels because of the edges.
Well, it was
The new one is silver.
it was a different order. It was a different part number, right? Like you could even back to then the regular C2 had aluminium edges, but they were
The new
only
C4s.
they were like 2-3 mil thick. And my
Yeah,
dealer
yeah.
somehow noticed that there was a different part number for C2 with a black edge. So I have that sort of carbon fiber just wrapped around, and it's all black, and it's really nice.
Because the new C4 panels, the back of them is weird. It looks almost like something that you brushed with the greasy cloth and you couldn't get out. On the whole, it's a whole finish of it. It's a very, very like it looks like it's used for God's sakes, but it's not. Like you peel it off, obviously take it sealed box, and it's like, what is this new finish, man? I don't like it, but that's the way we're going with it.
I mean, if nothing else, I'll be waiting for a C5 or C6 panel. I don't. I mean, I'm on the C2 in the living room, but it's 83 inches. So what I'm gonna do? Get a newer picture or newer screen in the same size?
Makes no difference, no sense.
I mean,
I'm not gonna upgrade this for a while. Like I'm happy with the G2 for now for what it is. And yeah, there is a little bit of a difference in the picture quality compared to the G4, but with my shot eyes, I don't really see that much of a difference to begin with. And I'm going back into the old roots of just, turning on the 90s when I get home and listen to the music instead of, geeking out on the YouTubes. And I have my sound back. So I really, I cater more
I know you
towards the
love
musical experience in my apartment now than I did when I was living in that little fucking uh, one bedroom cell. But it was still nice. Don't get me wrong, But now that there's space here, that's one thing that's disappointing. This morning I woke up and I turn on the V132
Mm-hmm.
and it started to go like, no, the video engine.
Don't die, don't die.
But it came back. The video engine, I believe, it's the same part number as from the V140, which I have one sitting around that I'm gonna just scour the shit out of. But I'm gonna look into just buying one as an actual part. It shouldn't be that much money for an old thing. And I want to keep that TV. It's the cutest out of all of them they made, and I fucking hated B1s when they first came out because I thought it was a sacrilege to the B&O's design. But it's such a cool TV now.
I always kind of
Opinions
liked
change.
them, but that was also because the separation was truly there, right? Like, it wasn't really under the B&O brand.
No, but it
I don't
still
know.
catered
It's
to that whole not agenda, but it still catered to the core, right? Like, you still have the puck control, you still have the surround processing inside it, you still have the ambient light sensor
yeah.
inside the IR and blah blah blah. Like, it was all there, still is, and I like it, and I
Yeah.
like the fact that it's controllable even with the Halo. I find the Halo after the update has a better remote control layout than the app does. I think they moonwalked hard on the interface with the remote control on the app. Like, this is straight. Oh man, it is way too far back. It's too rudimentary. It's like we're going back to BeoRemote 1 from 2000. Remember, with the BeoVision 1, which
The
was just
weird sort of
it was
handle
basically
thing.
it was inspired by a table cigarette lighter or table stand cigarette lighter. So, and yeah, that had what, up, down, left, right, go, and I think standby, and it was a couple extra buttons, but that was it. Ooh, my battery's dying. So yeah, it was not. I don't like the remote on the app. I don't like it at all. I like it more on the Halo now after the update. First of all, and second of all, I hope that they fix it. They should reintroduce the same features. Like, where are the colored buttons? Where is the source selection? All that, it's missing from the app. App is really, like I said, it's not like, I understand the logic for you not to be able to select title and piano radio because you can do it from the main page of the product's app, right? But still, when it's in that video version or video set mode, I'm missing the bloody more buttons.
Yeah, Epiphany World said, I only want microLED, or I only wait for microLED to become the norm because its image quality is beyond. I think OLED is also quite nice, and like I'm not kind of agnostic on the technology. I just want larger, more affordable personally. And
Hmm.
like where's like LG C2, so older panel, right? Like I don't care, but it's 83 inches. Like there's nowhere to go from here other than up, but up is so ridiculously expensive.
Yes.
Says the guy with all this B&O in his house, right? But like that's just a point where it's not worth it to me.
Well, it just makes no sense financially. Like, why would you pay, let's say, $40,000 for a panel just to get another, 10 inches on the screen? Yes, it's a
Well, I
lot
mean,
more
it's not
screen, but
40, but it's 22 for a 97 inch. It's
okay. So they went down in price, but it's
yeah,
still a
it's
lot.
22 for 88 because it's 8K.
Hmm.
Either way, right? Like no way. Like I'd rather buy another set of 50s for that price. Like I'll scour the world secondhand. Like I'm sure to be able to find something close to that.
Hmm.
Like if a 97 inch becomes around 10 grand, I'll consider it. Because like I tend to keep anything I own like until it breaks essentially.
Hmm.
And like I don't have like it max brightness ever because like I don't like I'm already kind of blind and like these new MLA panels are fucking blinding even in the showroom.
Like, they make sense in some apartments that we go to where, let's say, a good 75% of the place is glass, right?
Yeah.
Especially the high rises where, like, your inner walls are the only walls, and then everything is just curtain wall with glass and shit in it. And yes, if you put that against a brightly lit west wall or west facing wall, you're gonna struggle for the picture. The
Yeah.
catch-22 is that the light sensor is facing forward, so it still doesn't compensate for how the light load from behind, especially in a theater setup where the entire back is hugging that sensor, covering it from anything that what happens out front. So unless you have a direct light exposure, it's kind of counterintuitive to even go to these super bright panels because they don't make any sense. But
Yeah.
I'm with you, Christian. Like, I don't think C9, like, it's old. Like, we go to some people's places where, like, we replace like really old LG screens, but still comparatively, like, yeah, it's a much better processing in the picture, blah, blah, blah. But for my eyes, bro, I struggle
I
to
must
see
say,
the
though,
difference sometimes.
the C9 and up are all brilliant from LG. Like, from
Yes.
the, what is it, C7 was decent, good at the time. Like, I think C8 was a mini upgrade. C9 was like, this is where we need to be, and then it was iterations. But
Yes.
like C7, 8 to 9 was a major change. My sister still has my C9. It still looks excellent.
Mm-hmm.
This from the C9 onwards, it's just like brightness and slight like ghosting. But other than that, it was terrific.
Yeah, even now, like, now that I hardwired my theater, even though it's going through the, let's say, the 90s as a filter, I guess, or a switch, uh, I don't have any issues with picture quality.
Yeah.
It used to be every now and then it got hiccupy here with the Wi-Fi's, but once I hardwired it all, the in a low consumption power mode, whatever the 90s are sometimes when they slept, but they don't do it anymore. So no, it works. I haven't watched this video yet on the Beolab 8s or
Yeah, they should come on because they are apparently able to speak about B&O for essentially an hour plus. So, hi, Andrew. I liked your video. Come on, have a chat.
yeah, you should. We can stretch it to 2 hours, brother. Trust me.
We can also talk about other nonsense. I don't
Well,
care.
there's a lot of different things, and there's a lot of things that I would learn from him as well when it comes to the
Oh, I
third
personally
party
love
systems.
B&O, but I'm interested in other things and what other people do better, right? Like,
Hmm.
I have no problem going in for an hour on some other brand.
Yeah, I think that would be a good podcast. So yeah, if you want to join in, brother, anytime,
We can
more than
also
welcome to.
pre-record it if you like.
That's right.
You can get full editorial control.
Maybe
But
make us look cooler than we are.
yeah, if you're not done with thinking and talking about B&O, because I listened to this whole thing, he makes some very valid points. Like, I think similar to what we make with the price rises and like just the lack of being able to go anywhere in the US to, like, I think they're in Texas now, right? So where do they go? Either East Coast or West Coast.
Yeah, it's
Because there's nothing in between. Like, I don't even
and there
think
were so many
Chicago has anything
stores.
anymore.
No, Chicago was moved to New York,
Yeah.
so the head office is above the store, from what I understand. But
Yeah, it is. I mean, the
it's
store
not.
is nice enough, but like if you're in, I don't know, any of the
It's not
southern
like
states,
when I first started in Ireland and went for the training to Arlington Heights in Chicago, where they had a huge, like, they had a fucking just a mock-up showroom to train role play type of thing for new sales trainees, and they had an installer training facility where you get into the nitties and gritties, and yeah, it's kind of sad that they don't do that now. They had a training session in New York for installers or technicians to service things, but
I actually put an
that's about it.
order in for these.
You bastard, you. I knew it was a question of time before you break.
As in literally these.
Yeah, with the gray melange.
Yeah, an anthracite.
Oh, you're going for anthracite.
Yeah,
What made you go to anthracite, bro?
because they're nice.
No, I don't. I'm not disputing they're nice.
Oh,
It's just like beautiful silver.
they're most likely not going in the living room.
Mm.
I was potentially, because they're going to be on wall brackets, so I was potentially thinking of putting them high up next to the doors in the bedroom with the BeoConnect core and just BeoLinks around them essentially. Because issues with stage, right? Like it gets old really fucking quick, and the BeoConnect core just works every time, all the time.
Yeah, it does.
Like there was no
Uh,
question of if it would work; it just did. Like from the start, I had it pre-launch, and it just always worked. Like the biggest bugs I ever had was like, oh, this image doesn't load correctly. If that's the problem with it, like I don't really care because it just like it doesn't impede functionality. It's more like aesthetically it could be better, but like that's all solved.
oh, speaking of image not working correctly, so I think we got into that point where we were finishing another point, and I kind of diverted and forgotten about it. But anyways, we had one of the first R8 theaters, right?
Mm.
And so I go in, replace the theater, reset everything up, put the 28s, reset the 28s, blah blah, everything kosher meats. Cannot change the fucking color of the theater.
Yeah,
It's
same.
it's tied it's tied to the account because I swapped a different theater, removed the old theater before I put the new one onto the app. Still, it's only silver and oak. So the bug is in the actual account of the person. It's not within anything else. It's not the app. It's very
Yeah,
bizarre.
that's one of the issues I've then been having because I was pretty sure at this point it's no longer me. Right, like I've changed phones, I factory reset everything. I went
It's
into
not you,
beta,
no.
went out of beta. I wiped everything 3, 4, 5 times, if not more. I wiped the apps X amount, like probably 20 times since it started happening. If anything, it's gotten worse, right? Like it doesn't even show the other colors anymore when you select a different color.
Oh, really? No, he shows all the colors, and I even did like the trick that just select it and don't save and come back and this and that
Yeah.
and close the app and I fucking landscape, portrait, doesn't matter, dude. It just will not select any other color.
No, I'm at the point where like it'll show you the color bubbles, right? Like in every color you press is silver and oak. It doesn't
I
matter.
think they
It,
should.
it it even goes away and loads again, right? But it's always silver and oak.
I think they should revisit that in the app and essentially and do the same. They should do the same for the two products in my or three products, four products for sure. They should do that instead of having like all these pre-selected like for the Beolab 8s, 28s, uh, Beolab 50s, and what the fuck are we talking about? The last one. They should have them, and the theater itself also. They should have the color scheme selection follow the same principle as the Beolab 90s, where you select the okay, my theater is silver, cool. It's oak panels or walnut lamella, poof, okay. And the
What's
floor stand obviously is automatically detecting, and that's it. And the same thing should go for the 50s. Okay, I have the 50s that are piano black with the Mercedes fronts and walnut grills at the back or cloth. Like it should go through these three steps of color selection. I have Lab 8s, black anthracite. What grill? This grill. What floor stand? What or stand option? Because they don't really self-detect. Then you give them that, and then boom, there's your preloaded image. You have all the preloaded images anyways because they are there. So why not? Why not do that? And I don't know if it's a lot of work or not, but it would make the I think the customer experience much more uh, theirs, I guess, or meaningful when you can actually set up your theater the way that you have it. And I also wish that it would follow that. Let's say I have my 90 set up as white with smoked oak panels because the walnuts are not available on the selection palette.
mhm.
Uh, why does the theater load them up in black and oak as a default image? It should just load that from the account information that you already have because they know everything that you have. I know they know because I'm in the beta and they show me exactly what I've been like. They know exactly what I got. So you have all that information, and the same thing is for the Halo. There is no icon for a wall bracket one. I don't understand why.
If you have more than one, and one is the battery one and the other one isn't, it would be very easy to differentiate
This,
between the two.
you can't tell. Like, I don't know, you cheat
Like
to
to the
yourself
point
when
where
you
you don't
change
even have to
colors.
read the name you give it, right?
That's right. One is facing forward and the other one is sideways on the floor stand or table stand. So, yeah, there are a couple things that I would improve, but overall, I have to give them praise as far as where the beta is right now. I know I'm under the NDA, but I still believe that I can talk about praises. So, you guys are doing a great job at that.
Oh,
And
it's
that's
for
where I'm
sure
going to leave
getting
it.
better. It's just
It's getting much, much better. Like, we are over the dark ages of the last year where it was really suffering succotash. And even from an installer point of view, the new 6.3.2 app works much smoother than it did before, especially for assigning WPL speakers onto the theater where it all just crashes or fuck off on you. And then you come back and it's there. Okay, cool. So you took it, but
but
you
now
didn't really
also you
want to let
lost
me know.
the follow-up setup bit that the app would
Yes. So you
normally
have
get through.
son of a bitch. So no, it's getting good. It's getting better, and I think a few more years and we'll be perfect.
God, I hope it's not years.
if if you don't release a new product, because with new always comes a headache. But yeah, there's a couple
But
new things that
everything
are
from
gonna
here
come
on in
out.
should be Mozart, so therefore shouldn't be that different, right?
I also would like to know, like, what is their proposed lifespan of the Mozart platform? Like, are we talking a decade,
Seems
like
like
the
it.
ASC, right? Because the ASC was around a decade, and is the Mozart going to go through a couple mark revisions to the point where it may just be 20 years because the chips, like we're getting to the point where hardware outperforms the software. Like we're really at the point where the hardware can do a lot more than the software that we write to demand off of it can do. So I don't know when the update is coming, KCBR, but I am
If it's in
feeling very
beta, you
positive
can
about it.
expect soon-ish.
Soonish, but
Somewhere generally between 2 and 8 weeks, something like that.
yeah, since the last update, in the beta, I've had two different software updates for the Mozart, and I had two updates for the Halo. So the version I'm sure that you will get to see as a final one will be probably a one version up from where I am right now, even though I'm two versions ahead of you per se in the Halo software or the theater. I have a different software on the Beosound one because I did enroll ASC platforms, and that's why one of the reasons why I'm not going to get rid of the Beosound one because I do want to retain that backwards uh, compatibility ability to test.
Mm-hmm.
Because if I get rid of this, and it's the same thing, like I'm not getting rid of Beosound Core, the original one, because the fucking guys they sold all of them, and if we come across the point where we need to reset a Beosound shaped tile, you are unable to do that because the BeoConnect core does not do that. There's no USB out data like it used to be on the core, where it uploaded the firmware into the amplifier. So I'm actually very curious as to how B&O will deal with that because I don't know if the COM port including the data or does the sound and then includes the data because obviously there is some sort of a data communication where it switches the amplifier behavior to a slave mode, but I don't know. I honestly don't know where that's going to go or how that's going to be dealt with the firmware update. Okay, let's get smarter. About the Alicia Keys setup issue with the B&O, the photographer moved all the speakers around for the purpose of photo should not install an issue.
I don't believe that.
I go bullshit, bro. If you slid around the 90s, you are gonna tear off the rubber feet from the bottom, and they will literally be sitting on the ground. I don't buy that one bit. I do not buy that one bit. That's horseshit on a fucking stick. First of all, second of all, there's standby lights in the Harmony. That's an incorrectly set up television.
It's a menu
There's as
setting.
a,
It's just like, was it?
there's a whole bunch of things that if I were to get pissed off all over again to watch that fucking video and go through it all, I would bury you in facts as a professional B&O installer how badly and poorly the job was done. Period. Ain't nobody be moving no fucking 90s, man. Unless they had service gate. At that point, all the panels would have been off.
Yeah, but also, yeah, like they're what,
No,
like 300 pounds each. Like, how are you moving that? Like,
you're
you
not
need.
sliding them around. Like there's nowhere to grab them unless you dismantle them. And the photographer, I can tell you, has a zero grain of a clue of how do you come about these speakers to be moved, because you need to take the top crowns off, screw in the bullhorns in order for them to be grabbed by something,
Don't forget you have
take
to
off the
take
bottom panels,
the rubber insert
take
bits
out the
out.
rubber grommets first of all, then you find out that there's actually threads that you can screw this shit into, and then you take the panels off, then you put the skates in, and then half an hour later you are able to move that one speaker. Unlikely hard.
Yeah.
So I appreciate defending, but that's not that was a piss poor job, man. As a professional B&O installer, I would put my hand in fire. That was a piss poor job, and it's just what it was. There's no way. I don't believe that if they moved around. What did they move on the harmony? They didn't move shit on the harmony. It's just incorrectly set up. It's just there was. I don't know if it's
These
the
are old
same
wounds, man.
Yeah, man. I already had the stitches out, bro. So
Like,
no.
the part of the reason why it's an actual wound because it was Architectural Digest, and then like people B&O posted it on their Instagram, and while I concede, right, like the photographer may have moved some things, they won't have moved the harmony, and they will not have moved the 90s.
No way.
Because if you, especially with 90s, unless you know what you're actually doing, you're destroying them, even if you move them a little bit.
Yes. If they grab them and try to lift them by the front and move them, they would break off the pegs in the panels. So now you're fucked.
Well, there was a peg panel broken, obviously, but
So
that is not
try that.
That is not even that out of the ordinary for 90s.
No. I went through 3 different sets of panels before I ended up with them all coming in with the pegs on, because the shipping was shite. But no, I honestly, sorry, let's get smarter, but that's not there. Maybe they had moved some stuff around, but those 2 items, 3, I guess, if you count each speaker as one, unlikely.
Also
unlikely.
the panels are sort of on this sort of angle, right? And most people pull them off that way when you're supposed to pull them out that way.
Yes.
And that's how you break all the pegs. So that I can even let go, but just moving 90s like that, 50s maybe, because you can sort of roll them, I guess.
Yeah.
But
no, you'd fuck up the bottom, but you could move them. But these you don't move them. You just don't move them.
They're just too heavy.
You could move them, but then again, you would still have to lift them to put those sliding pads that lock them in the pallets, those little coasters with the little pegs on them. That's how I was able to move them on the hardwood floor.
Yeah, but you don't move them feet like that.
No, that's fucking inches, bro. And it's still like you're shooting hemorrhoids out of your ass just to do that by yourself. 2 guys possible, right? But no, I do not buy that one bit, bro. That was it was a piss poor installation. That's all it is. The guys just, Friday after lunch type of thing. That's what to me it looked like.
Also where the 90s were pointing, like it was sort of like one of
these into the woods, bro. Yeah.
It was like, oh, the middle is here. Well, we aim there.
It's just like cockeyed chameleon, bro. Like this isn't. No.
Sorry, I don't mean to rail on you. Somebody probably said that, and it seemed reasonable, but the 90s are just too heavy.
Not reasonable.
The harmony
Go to my Instagram and look at the last 4 videos to see what is involved in moving them. Well, just out of the box is a different story, but just moving them.
And the harmony was wall mounted, so there's nothing you do about that either.
No, you can move it by just tilting it out, so you can look into the connection panel, and then good luck putting it back on with the pegs.
But if you don't know B&O, let's say like how many people here right now know where that pin is?
Right.
Because you have to find both of them, right? One on each side.
And you also have to push it with the little the screw-in things. You get the little handles, so you can actually let enough loose so you can pull them out and then recess down, and then you can get into it. I don't buy that one bit. Good call or a good try, but no, like that. I've been around B&O and installations for much too long for me to be sliding that bullshit through just on a whim of like, oh, the photographer did that. He could have moved around the balance or an emerge or whatever else was left over there, but anything that was static on the wall, and including the 90s, I'm very unlikely.
Yes,
So
they're just too heavy.
yeah. But anyways, I think that's what we're gonna leave that off because I'm getting fucking worked up over this.
We're gonna brew on this a little.
We're gonna brew on this offline.
Well, anyway, have a good week, everybody. I hope you had fun. Let's get smart. This wasn't personal. This is just old wounds. And,
you poked it right with the salt stick, so that's what you get.
I mean, it's sort of like, you know how you have a paper cut? You fix that with like lemon juice, right? Have a good week, everybody. Hope you stay safe. Hope you stay well. And happy 99th Bang & Olufsen. And see you all next weekend.
Bye.
Bye.
Thanks for watching.